What's going on, YouTube and horror movie fans? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host, Marcus. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, so you can see the notification icon to get all this content on this channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about John Kramer possibly coming back. Roger that, let's get that hit something. I shot him 6 times! Okay guys, so as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be discussing the possibility of John Kramer coming back in the Saw franchise. Last year we got the release of Spiral, which was spearheaded by Chris Rock, somewhat of a spin-off to the Saw franchise, but if you're a Saw fan like I am, everybody knows it felt and looked like a Saw movie, and I'm not knocking it. I thought it was pretty good for what they tried to do. I thought Chris Rock did a fantastic job in his role. All in all, I thought the movie was good, and it left me thinking, okay, so what direction could they possibly take this franchise? For the simple fact is, if you watch the movie, you know that the whole Hypnosis, the original backstory, took place during the timeline where actually John Kramer was still alive and, you know, doing his thing as, you know, the Jigsaw killer, you know. So I was wondering, maybe could they tie in, you know, these characters with the old characters, etc. Well, right before the movie had gotten greenlit, well, had made its release, it was greenlit that there was already a Saw 10 in the works, which Spiral was the 9th installment in the Saw franchise. So if they make another movie, obviously this would be the 10th installment in the franchise. So I decided to, you know, take a peek in to see what, you know, what ideas they had out there, and long and behold, you know, as recently as last month, I see a report from JoeBlow.com, reported by Cody Hammond, that Tobin Bell could be set to return as John Kramer in the next installment in the Saw franchise. And from what longtime producers have said, you know, regarding this subject, is that John Kramer fans will be very happy in the next Saw installment that basically John Kramer does come back, that this is going to be a movie through the point of view. It's going to be a prequel to the third one. It's going to basically be set in between the first and second movies, and it's going to be basically through his point of view. So with my initial thoughts after reading that article, I, as a Saw fan, I'm kind of left dumbfounded, guys, because I feel like we kind of already got that through this entire series, before Spiral and before Jigsaw, through Saw 1, through Saw the Final Chapter. Every chain of events that happened, every storyline that took place in each movie was based on the point of view of John Kramer. And they even went as far as explaining why he got to the point where he got to, with wanting to set people up in traps and value, you know, show them they have to value their lives, etc. So to bring John Kramer back in a prequel just kind of seems odd to me. It kind of seems like we're taking a back step. As much as I love the character, I'm a big fan of Tobin Bell, I just don't feel like this is a step forward. I feel like this is a step backward. You're gonna tell a story basically through the point of view of John Kramer when we had 7 stories like that. What's this supposed to be? More like what, it was some hardcore Henry type thing, first person point of view? I don't want to see that. And I'm sure a lot of Saw fans wouldn't want to see that. Now, granted, I'm not trying to knock it and sit there and say I'm not happy that, you know, Tobin Bell's reprising his role. Obviously, it's a legendary role, and he makes the franchise. But at the same time, I just feel like you run out of ideas for this character. He was killed off in the third one. You found ways to bring him through flashbacks and keep his story going through the entire franchise. where else do you go? I am more interested in wondering what happened to Detective Mark Hoffman and what happened to Dr. Gordon after the events of the final chapter of part 7. They still left some, they still kind of left some things untold. So it's just, to take these back steps, it's just kind of puzzling to me. Like, I don't understand what maybe we might see, how Dr. Gordon, how he obviously more in depth, how he, helped Dr. Gordon survive when he found him in the hallway, the building he trapped him in, helped him, nursed him back to, health. And do we get to see more in depth how Dr. Gordon played a part, in these, traps and in this whole plot hypnosis through the whole franchise, as we found out that he was involved basically through the second all the way up to the 7th, basically. I mean, possibly, but I just don't, even in that direction. Like, you already showed everything. You showed that Dr. Gordon was involved since the second movie. You showed, that basically John Kramer kind of turned him into an ally. What else are you going to show? I don't know, guys. I'm worried about this. I'd rather see maybe a kind of movie where you kind of mix the parallels of the original Saw universe and the new Saw universe with Spiral together. I would like to see them revisit the end of the final chapter. Like I said, is Detective Hoffman dead? Like, who was the other 2 accomplices with Dr. Gordon that night when he, stopped, Detective Hoffman from escaping? There were some questions that needed to be answered at the end of that Saw 7, that final chapter, that never got answered. And now we're going to sit here and drag Tobin Bell out of bed and say, hey, let's do a prequel set between Saw 1 and Saw 2 based on John Kramer's point of view, when we literally have 7 films that is basically like that. We know why he did, turned to what he turns into. His, wife was working at the clinic. She was pregnant with their child. One of, the clinic patients went to escape out of the clinic, slammed the door into her stomach. Obviously, unfortunately, the baby dies. And then John Kramer, after being stressed out and frustrated, tries to take his own life. And then, much to his surprise, he survived. And that's when he learned the true value of life. And that's when he decided to start testing people to see how much they value their life, etc., etc. Like, how much more into his point of view can you get? Basically, is I guess what I'm wondering. How much more in depth into the mind of John Kramer Jigsaw can you get? I don't know, guys. I don't feel like we can really delve into any more. I just don't. They would have to come up with a really good storyline, and there has to be a reasoning why he's coming back. And I just don't. I feel like this is a cash grab in so many ways because of the success of Spiral, which did pretty good on its own, being a movie without Tobin Bell, especially after Jigsaw underperformed. So Spiral did breathe some new life into the franchise. I just feel like we can go in so many different directions than the direction it seems like they're heading towards, with bringing Tobin Bell back and reprising his role and setting this movie as a prequel set in between the first and the second movie. As much as I love John Kramer, the character, and as much as I'd love to see him back, I just don't, like I said, guys, I just don't know how much more in depth we can get into the mind of John Kramer, and I just don't know if this movie will be any good and if we're going to learn anything that we don't already know. But that's my thoughts and opinions, guys. I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Hit the comment section below. Let me know if you guys like the idea of them bringing John Kramer back for another Saw movie, or do you guys think that they should leave John Kramer alone, leave his legacy behind, and take this franchise in a whole new direction, or keep following up on the direction that Spiral has already set place? I want to hear from you guys. Hit the comment section and let me know your thoughts. But alright guys, I'm out of here for this one. Once again, I'm your host Marcus. This is I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. Once again, be sure to hit that like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as well as hit that notification icon to get all the latest content updates from the channel, as well as be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.